A story, let it come and let it go.
Hello, I'm Adella Adella the Storyteller, and I am a storyteller. And I tell stories from around the world, specializing in African and African American folklore and some personal stories. My stories are very participatory. The young people get a chance to come up on stage with me or right from their seats, take part in the stories that I tell. For your curriculum connections, social studies, African American history, and language arts can all be incorporated into your curriculum after your children see a performance by Adella Adella, the storyteller.
Now, this story is a story that comes from Ghana, and it explains why we have stories in the world. And it's an Ananse story. Now, can you growl like a leopard for me? Let's hear you. Ah, good. Can you buzz like hornets? Bzz. And there's a fairy in this story, and this is going to be the fairy sound. Your turn. A story, let it come and let it. Once, oh beautiful children around my knee, there were no stories on earth to hear, because all of the stories belonged to Nyame, the sky god, and he kept them in a golden box next to his royal stool. Now one day little Ananse went up to the sky god and said, "Sky God, I would like to buy your stories." And that sky god said, "Tweet, tweet, 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 tweet. How can an old man like you, so small, so small, so small, buy my stories? If you wish to buy my stories, you must bring me three things. Osibo, the leopard of the terrible teeth." Let's hear the leopard sound. Burrow, the hornets who sting like fire. Bzz. And Moesha, the fairy that no man has ever seen. And Ananse bowed low and said, "I'll gladly pay the price." And he spun a web back down to earth. Come on, help me spin that web. Psst. And he went to find the things that the sky god asked for. He crept along the jungle path. Here it is. Here it is, here it is, here it is, until he ran into Osibo, the leopard of the terrible teeth. And Osibo let out a big growl. "Woo, Osibo, you scared me." Ananse, you're just in time to be my lunch." "Oh, Osibo, as for that, let's see, let's play a little game." Now that leopard, he was very fond of games, and he wanted to know what kind of game it was. "Well, Mr. Leopard, it's called the binding game. First I'll tie you up, then I'll untie you." Now that leopard said, "Oh boy, that sounds like fun. But when it's my turn to tie up Ananse, I am going to, wow, for my lunch." Well, Ananse took that leopard and he tied him by his foot, by his foot, by his foot, and by his foot, and hung that leopard high up in the tree. And that leopard said, "Oh boy, Ananse, you tricked me." "Yes, now you're ready to meet the sky god." Now there were two other things that Ananse had to catch, and that was what? The hornets that sting like fire, right? And Moesha, the fairy that no man has ever seen. So then Ananse came up with two other tricks to catch them. And if you want to know how he caught those other two, have Adella Adella the storyteller to come to your school, and she'll tell you what happened. Or you could read Gail Haley's A Story, A Story. Thank you. a story, let it come and let it go.